and good morning to everyone. Ms. Humphreys, Julie, Terence, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to say how delighted I am to be here today to officially open Combilift's new global HQ and manufacturing facility here in Monahan. I particularly want to thank Martin and Robert for inviting me. Met them before at a visit to Casteran in France, so I have been in the hot seat. Driven forklift, yes. But I did hear a story from Martin's school days, which I think in many ways illustrates why Combilift is such an international success today. And I'm told that Martin decided he wanted to take physics for the Leaving Cert, even though he hadn't studied science before that. His teacher refused, so Martin made a promise to say that he would be the best in his class by Christmas, and if not, he'd give it up. So needless to say, Martin's determination won through, and I think it's the same self-confidence and single-minded determination that has propelled Combilift to being a global company of real success. When Combilift was founded 20 years ago, there were only 3 staff, but there was a brilliant concept and the ambition to make it a reality. And your idea for the world's first multidimensional forklift helped transform the industry, producing 8 units in the first year, 17 of which were sold abroad. You've gone on to sell 38,000 units across 80 countries, which is really phenomenal if you think about it. With hundreds of people employed, you're recognised as the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and a leader in load handling products. This fabulous new facility will enable your significant research and development to continue, which is necessary for all innovative exporting companies to stay ahead of the curve. And I'm particularly glad to mark this milestone for you here in County Monaghan, because we need many more homegrown companies like Combilift if we're to achieve our vision of a prosperous future with opportunities for communities living in all parts of Ireland. And for decades, it's been a mainstay of our industrial policy to attract in FDI, to attract in American and other companies, bring them into Ireland so they create jobs here and invest here. And that's going to continue. But I think more and more what we need is for Irish companies to start small, do well, and go global. And that's why I think the Combilift story is so compelling. When it comes to business and the economy, the government, as you know, centres its economic policy and everything we want to do with the economy and jobs really around 5 principles. The first is to manage our public finances prudently. And this year will be the first year in 10 years in which we've broadly balanced the budget. And we're also now reducing the national debt. But our national debt is still very high. It works at about €45,000 per person in the state, which is 3 times higher than it was when we entered into the financial crash 10 years ago. So it's important that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past or go back to the when I have it, I spend it philosophy. We need to be prudent, we need to balance the books, and we need to reduce our debt so that we are prepared if we were to ever face a downturn or some sort of shock into the future. So when the budget comes in October, our priorities will of course be to balance the budget and to further reduce our debt. After that, finding some room for modest reductions in tax and additional investment in infrastructure and public services. Our second principle is to keep Ireland at the centre of the world, to be committed to the European Union, the single European market, the euro, and being at the heart of the common European home which we helped to found. And you know that as an exporting company, how important it is that we have access to all of those markets, not just a single European market, but other markets around the world as well. We also want to have a fairer tax system, one that provides for modest, responsible and sustainable reductions in tax, a system that is more pro-business and rewards people's hard work. And that's why we've widened the standard rate cut-off point, the point at which people enter that higher rate of income tax. The average person working full-time in Ireland earns about €46,000 a year and will pay a chunk of their income at that highest rate of income tax. And that's very high and unfair compared to other countries. We also want to keep our taxes on business low and also assist businesses to find new ways to reward their employees, particularly through share options for smaller companies. We have an objective as well, and it's our fourth objective, of full employment with good jobs for everyone, and to have those in all parts of Ireland. A couple of years ago, unemployment peaked at 15%. It's now down to around 6%. And in the border region, it's now actually lower than the national average. It's at 4.9%, which is an extraordinary turnaround if you think about it. And we expect that before the end of the year, when the numbers come out, you'll find that there are now more people working in Ireland than ever before. But we don't just want to create any jobs. We want jobs to be good jobs, ones that pay the bills, allow people to aspire to home ownership, give them security, give them work-life balance, and also ensure that there's provision for pensions in later life. And that's why we're reforming employment law to get rid of things like zero-hour contracts in most circumstances. That's why we've brought in maternity leave, and I see a relatively male workforce here in front of me, so I hope some of you have already availed of maternity leave, and if not, we'll do so into the future. And we intend in years to come to extend parental leave, allowing parents, both mums and dads, to have more time off to spend with their kids in the years ahead.